Hello and welcome back, everybody. Here, oh, sorry about that. So we are back again, and as I promised, we are going to go ahead and read some databank stuff. But real quick, I've got a message. Looks like the sea moth bay collapsed around me. Do not attempt rescue without laser cutters. Pew pew. You'll only add to the body count. Wow, that is really ironic that I happen to have this out. I just thought it would be funny to be holding this, to be honest. So, alright. I want you to read this real quick before I admit another mistake to you guys. Just take a second to breathe. Alright, you good? So, when I collected a seed from the giant, super cool fruit tree, it turns out I was hitting the plant in front of it. So, we don't actually have a fruit tree. We actually just have two cute little ferns that are going to keep our cat company. And keep this, whatever this is, at bay. But, as you can see, they aren't all full... Actually, shit. Looks like they are. And so, just to show you guys, basically, you just cut a couple until you have all you're going to need to keep it full. And then you eat what you need. We can actually afford to grab one more just for the road. Then over here, you can see I went, since we didn't actually have a tree to fill this one with, I just went ahead and threw in some potato plants so we'd have a little variety. It's always nice. We'll end up tricking out the rest of this room. Over here, I did add a little bit of stuff there so it wasn't quite as bad. But one thing that I really wanted to show you as well was I did set up an outdoor planter super quick. Just super quick. You can see we're growing our own creep vine, which will actually have seed clusters as well, so we can harvest them completely. Did you remember that little mushroom we harvested down in the jelly mushroom cave? Boop, there he is. He's super tiny right now. He'll end up being a little bit bigger, but it's all good. We're not here for him right now. And you know what? Let's go ahead. Where would be a cool? Let's go ahead and read stuff in the sea moth bay. That'd be fun, right? We'll go ahead. We'll admire our little James Cameron, and we will go through some of these data, or all of the data banks that we have so far. And we're just gonna go ahead and start at the top here. So we'll just close all that. Close all that. All right. Start at the top here. Aurora Engineering Drone Albert log. Exiting sleep mode. Okay, so it looks like this is from the drone engineering drone's perspective. Give me a propulsion cannon. Install the circuit box with the propulsion punch a hole through the cargo bay. Oh, so it's talking. So the propulsion cannon is something we've got in here. Oh, it'll be up higher. Sorry about that. So, oh, we actually... Okay, so yeah, you can see we have the propulsion, or we have the ability to build a propulsion cannon. I'll do that at some point, just, I've been collecting the resources for all this other stuff. I haven't quite gotten around to that quite yet, but we will get one of those one day. And as you might have noticed here, in the modification station, we can upgrade that to a repulsion cannon, which... I did try out the propulsion cannon a little bit in the first one. Basically what it does is grab stuff and pulls it to you, so you can like snatch fish super easily and stuff like that. I assume you can also kind of move those boxes around that occasionally are blocking doors. This one seems like it could actually be used defensively to force stuff away from you, so I'm really excited to try that out at some point. So it seems like he is kind of giving us a little bit of information about kind of those cannons, and that's really kind of cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Aurora black box data. Initiate slingshot maneuver around planet 4546b. High velocity pulse was launched from the planet, which so it obviously it immediately started sending out distress signals, live pod bays, all that kind of stuff. Hits the atmosphere, then happens the giant impact, which is where it's resting now, and it screwed up everything, turned off all the networks, and also the drive core is what we had to go fix because it was causing radiation everywhere. And then energy pulse matched no known planetary defense technologies. And that energy pulse is the one that we have the waypoint for right here, actually. You can kind of see it there. Again, really awesome how that worked out. Pulse site of origin has been calculated and downloaded, which is why it's showing it to us. Distress signal did get out, so people know that we are out here. That's a good thing. Rescue solution received at T plus A. Captain's quarters. Oh, so the captain quarters, if you remember, that's that room that we couldn't get into before that I said is going to later have later game stuff. Contract legal recording. You have to understand change our arrangement. I'll try to respect it. How would you like to change it? To reduce our contact hours. How much further can we do that? To 0. You're dumping me. Oh, shit. How's this still a relationship if we don't see each other? Oh, my God. Relationship Oh, my fucking God. Ooh, that's a... So, we have a messy relationship here that kind of... The way he just says some of that is, I would like to reduce our contact hours. Like, fuck. Sounds like a robot. Jesus. Alright. So, that's that one. Oh, actually. Today's menu, of course. We don't want to miss that. Space Bear Voulette. Or Voulet, I believe is how you would pronounce that. Very, very nice. Sounds okay. It involves Space Bear. It's a soup. We've got the cottage pie. We've got the desert dried fruits and nuts, which, I mean, people are always going to love that stuff. I would, of course, be happy with, you know, like a... for dessert, of course, like some ice cream or something, but to each their own. I mean, I guess space, you got to be careful about that kind of stuff, right? So, sweet offer. So, this was the guy that was talking about the robo suit. He gave us a code that we needed. Goes into a lot of detail. Feel free to read through that if you'd like. This was the person that gave us the cargo bay door. This was in the kind of officer section, if I remember, or administration. And yeah, that gives us a little bit of a hint about the phase gaze stuff, but I remember we got one that further explains that, so we will go ahead and come back to that. If you need to tweak your equipment, and this was for the lab that we were in. Very, very cool. Alright, so here's some of the stuff that we've got from the Degassi survivors so far. It looks like we've got a couple of different people's logs. So there might be more that we can collect. That'd be really, really cool. Messed up badly this time. It's been 2 days since the attack. Ooh, what attack? We never should have left the island. I shouldn't have done what they said. We shouldn't have gone so deep. Why not? We're not wanted down there, sorry. They don't trust us, and I can see why. I could see it, and they couldn't, and now they're gone, and I'm up here alone. I deserve to die. Ooh, that is... that got dark. And, so this is something that we got up from the floating island. And he's talking about... So there was some kind of attack. And they went down there. I wonder what down there means. Probably down in the Grand Reef, maybe? I guess that would make sense. Or maybe there's something hidden in the sparse reefs. That's definitely worth checking out. Then we've got just kind of a Degassi voice log from their habitation. This island is the best thing that could have happened. No predators, fresh food. I mean, that's a very good point. Those are things that you absolutely want. No building materials and nothing left of the ship. And as the kid says, we're going to starve. That's true. Yeah, getting materials would definitely be hard, especially since the area directly around that island is very, very harsh, let's just say. Or unforgiving. It's true, Father, the natural growth rates are too slow. All I'm saying is the ocean's got surrounded. No reason, no use hiding. They're going to have to get their feet wet. Makes sense as well. Walking ground with me. I've made a decision. If you want to forfeit emergency pay just to take a swim, go right ahead. Oh, fuck. That's kind of a dick thing to do. I mean, it's clear that I'm assuming this is a she. It's clear they were just trying to help. Storm, sun, I said no, wait for the storm to pass. What's one vegetable patch? I mean, the vegetable patch kind of does contribute to your safety, to be fair. Fair enough, Bart. I'm kind of rooting for you right now. Oh, and we just got another transmission. We'll go ahead and get to that after we get through these. I'll stop being in charge when you take charge of yourself. Ooh, shit. Trying to get a distraction. Do you know how to drain this grow beds out there 40 tons of stormwater, or how to conjure food out of air? Again, Marguerite, good points. And he's got a little nickname for her. You're too old to change old habits. So these guys did all clearly know each other fairly well. I'm just saying what your boy's life is worth to you today. If tomorrow you're going to go hungry. Yeah, fair. Sends him out to go do with the plants. That's good. And then he starts getting a little bit dark towards this person again. Yeah, and I think Margaret here has the right idea. Like, obviously they're not going to have rescue in time. They've got to just really start getting their stuff together, which is probably why there are Degassi bases that we can find underwater. I assume then we're going to be following the path of these people then, so I'm kind of glad that we went and grabbed that topside one first. And then here is Paul, which is the son, if I'm understanding this correctly. I feel like, no, Bart's the son. Bart's the son. He's the one that says he made a terrible mistake. Paul is the father, and then Margaret is somebody that's with him. Maybe the mother? Maybe just somebody else that they had with them. I'm not sure. Presumably there's probably more than 3 people on their ship. It would make sense. Chief's log, 5 weeks out. Ship was shot out of the air and burdened us with the presence of a cut price. Oh. Okay. Alright, so guess was completely wrong. I should have just waited a second. So the last person was a mercenary. He doesn't think very highly of her, but it's clear that she, is very on point with her survival instincts at the very least. Spent a couple days in the life pod, rain hammering the roof, ocean on the horizon. I don't know that I've actually seen any rain yet, so I wonder if that's something that's going to come later. That'd be very interesting. Then the weather cleared and we saw this floating oasis. We were saved. We salvaged part of their wreck the same way that I'm doing with mine. They start working on the plant for stable food. Same thing that I just did. Our only problem is this woman. This mercenary. And yeah, it very much just seems that he does not take any stock in her opinion, or their opinion, and they're desperately trying to help. But at least he agrees that trying to stay alive is the thing. So at least they can find some ground there, hopefully. Oh. Altera search and rescue. What is this? Mongolian vessel the Degassi disappeared almost a decade ago, carrying with it a high-ranking Mongolian chief. Emissary Kassar, your orders are to make reasonable effort to locate them without compromising the primary mission. Very interesting. So slingshot maneuver, past this ocean planet. We're just trying to quickly scan the Degassi on our way around, it sounds like. Additional aquatic and all-terrain vehicles have been included, which is why we're finding all this equipment that is really, really useful in this environment. Crew manifesto has been distributed to senior employees in a separate message. And here is crew manifest on Mida. Freelance security personnel lost in space near the planet. Born in the Mongolian states. Dishonorably discharged from the TSF. I'm not 100% sure what TSF is. Hired to accompany Paul on the Degassi to uncharted space. Oh, very cool. So, those are some fun sounds. Okay. So, that gives us a bunch of background on this Degassi, or at least why we came by this planet specifically. We only really stopped here to check on these people, so it's kind of their... I mean, we could say their fault, but, you know, it's all good. It's all good. We're trying to help people out. Life pod 3. How are we going to find others without a rendezvous signal? We have a compass. Want to just swim for it? Might be years away. Yep, so just kind of people panicking as their pod has crashed. Makes a lot of sense. Not in immediate danger. Where the rescue team ship didn't make it. Where the rescue teams. So this passenger is just fucking freaking out. They're dead, man. We have to rendezvous coordinates. The route is heavily irradiated and we only have one rad suit. So what are you going to do? If I take the suit, perhaps I can find a lead source in the area, come back and fabricate a second suit, then we will swim to the rendezvous. Very, very logical. How do I know you'll not just save yourself? Give me the suit. Oh, no. Do you know how to properly equip? I said I'll go. Man, we really could have used this guy. This guy sounds like he knows what he was doing. Altera crew. Never should have let her leave with that rad suit. By now she's either swum? Is that a word? Maybe? To dry land or drown trying. Meanwhile, the air filters aren't keeping up with the hull breach. Radiation levels in the pod are rising. I won't lunch much longer without meds. This would be a time to take the easy way out, which, yeah. See, there's a lot of very dark things, but this is, like, you gotta remember, like, we got lucky to get the resources that we did and get the start that we did and have the, the developers not have us start in the middle of dying. But, yeah, this is very much, like, a lot of tragic stories kind of happening back to back. And we have now kind of gotten ourselves stuck in this as well. Help me, what happened? Oh, she came back! I tried to make it to the rendezvous, but I coughed, started feeling sick, barely made it back. Did you breach the suit? Are you contaminated? No, I don't know what is wrong. Did you set the air levels right? Yes. Sound of scanner. Did you do up the zipper? What zipper? Oh my fucking god. See, you killed this man just to die as well. God damn it. Your radiation level shouldn't be this high. You've been exposed to... Man, wake up. Yep, she's fucking dead. If you make it off this planet, please don't tell people I died because I couldn't dress myself. Oh, that's her last words, which is fair. So, at least she kind of admits that... I mean, still a little bit stuck up, but at the same time kind of admits that she made a big mistake. Secret safe with me. I don't expect to make it off this planet. And you can see this guy, not only was he smart, he even at the person that he should have been super, super upset with, he's being honorable about it. So, props to Life Pod 6 crew member. I really like that. Alien pipe system. This was that weird vent thing that we scanned. Access point to a deep alien piping network that extends beyond maximum scannable range. Makes sense. Pipe is drawing in water from the surrounding area and pumping it to an unknown location below the surface. Peepers have been observed entering and exiting the access point. Other small creatures appear to avoid the vicinity. Purpose unknown. So I assume we're going to be able to get... But why peepers? I mean, I've been eating a shitload of peepers just because they're pretty much everywhere and they're pretty decent food source, but maybe there's actually a better... Like, maybe there's some other good reason to peepers, or maybe there's just something weird the aliens were doing. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Public documents. Responsible autonomous relationships. Single supplier makes a dangerous monopoly. Personal relationships are the same. Okay, so this is a thing about basically, like, if you do get in a relationship, just don't fuck it up. And that's kind of funny considering that we found that a situation was happening really, really weird. But I guess it makes sense that he was acting all, like, super formal if the company had some kind of, weird policies and stuff like that. Altera launches the Aurora. So Altera appears to be the company that we're working for and that we are a hyperspace scientist for as our backstory as a... fucking... God damn it, what was her name? Bill Frazzle, I think was what we ended up with. Phase gate announced for the air. Oh, so this, yeah, this was the message that told us that we are making a giant new phase gate. And apparently our TerraCorp has 9% of all phase gates in the galaxy, which sounds pretty impressive. I assume that they would go to great lengths to not allow monopolies, so 9% sounds fairly reasonable. We're not the biggest company out there probably, but not too bad. We actually took the time to red bleeder before, so we'll go ahead and skip that one for now. Carrion feeder, well adapted to both land and sea. Gas exchanging membrane. Ooh, so they can breathe air and water, which is why we've seen them in both environments. They also have mandibles, seek out corpses in packs. So they're kind of carrion feeders, as it says up here. They're scavengers. They like harassment, inconvenient. They weren't doing too much damage before, so that kind of adds up. We've got the floater, which is those things that got stuck to our ship last time. Evolutionary abnormality. I like the way they phrased that. That's kind of very professional. Dominant life form. Structure analysis reveals that the entity is made up of 2 separate species. The pink body and the inner jaws are the dominant creature. Oh, and then it has a membrane of microorganisms around it. Very cool. Very cool. The gel-like. Yep. All makes sense. It forms a sealed vacuum. Very interesting. Air buffer. A thin layer of helium is stored in the outer membrane, providing buoyancy. That's why they all float. Almost exclusively attaching to large boulders and sea moths. Appears entirely vulnerable to artificial detachment and doesn't seem to care about what it's reattached to. So I think that's what I think that's how we troll fish with it, which will be really fun. And we're gonna need to go grab food here in a second, but we'll get through the shuttle bug first. And we need to start scanning more fish. We will occasionally do these episodes where we can just really break it down and really kind of look through all these and get a good idea of what's been going on. They'll probably the future ones probably won't be as long, since we will stay, and you know what, I might just try to stay caught up with them as we go moving forward. But we got the Shuttle Bug Scavenger. This is one of the ones that we can't collect and eat, which is something to note, and it'll probably say that somewhere in here. No threat to even small organism. It's adapted to feed on waste products. 3 mandibles used to orient themselves when drifting and filter through cave floors and stuff. Can propel them great distances through the water. Oh, very interesting. As well as kind of, ambling across. And they seem to set up near cave systems, is a good thing to note. Now we're going to go ahead and get some snacks from here, because they are cheap. We don't have to go hunt anything for them. We'll go ahead and bust up 2 melons right now and then just grab a bunch. Oh, we just ate a decomposing one. That was unfortunate. Throw a couple more in here. We'll grab 3 more. Bam, bam, bam. There we go. We can just hang out. No, we'll just hang out here with kind of a good view of the cat and his 2 bushy friends. Alright, so back to where we were. Flora. So far we've got the fern palms, which is what we have over there. Not listed in existing flora databases. It's unclear whether it's native to the planet. It shares genetic code with some of the other stuff. The lantern tree, which we accidentally didn't collect, but we'll try to get one of those at some point. I don't know if you actually can get that. Maybe it's worth looking up. Maybe it's just worth experimenting. We'll find out. Each vine, the fruits with roughly the same nutrition. Maybe we just have to plant one of the fruits from it. That's a good shout. We'll give that a shot at one point. I'll probably go grab it off camera though, so you guys don't have to watch the same stuff again. Land fungus. Pretty cool. Limited only by nutrients and space. I don't know if we can actually harvest anything edible from that. Grub basket. A carnivorous life cycle wherein grubs and insects are attracted to the bright petals. Oh, very cool. So it's almost kind of Venus flytrap-esque in nature. Voxel shrub, they haven't put in a lot of information yet, it appears. But gives you a little bit of information. It's probably just something that looks cool, like a wildflower, not something you actually like are gonna need for anything. This has harvestable spores. We've seen those in a couple places, if I recall. Inedible, something I noticed, but we might end up needing to harvest the spores for something. Speckled rattler. Generate characteristic rattle when the plant is shaken. Maybe to ward off predators or even encourage predation as a means of spreading the spores. Oh, very interesting. And then last, we've got the writhing weed. Shallow systems and caves, shallow waters and cave systems. Sorry. Plant lives in symbiosis with coral species, which forms around the base of the stems. Very cool. And we've got technical. This is just going to be a bunch of information about protective suit. I assume this is probably what we started in. It's got, you know, stuff that we needed to start off, but nothing particularly special. The light sticks are things that we can stick down that just last a certain amount of time, I believe. Propulsion cannon, we got a little information from that about one of the guys. Radiation suit is what we were using before we fixed the Aurora. Stasis rifle. Oh. And still suit we haven't finished yet, I don't believe. But we know it exists. Oh, so this will recycle your bodily fluids to give you back water that you can actually use. That's really, really cool. And kind of a good kind of something good for when you're out, since you'll usually have the water purifiers in your bases. So that's actually really, really good. And then apparently you can upgrade to a Mark II for other stuff. Be activated at startup. Not included on all models, so of course there's no way we're gonna get that. It's all gonna just taste awful. Okay, very cool. Habitats. This is just a bunch of the stuff that we've collected. We haven't. This is, I think, probably one of the only ones we haven't actually set up yet. Of course, minus the lighting things and stuff like that. Gives us a couple of drones that we. Oh my fucking god! I was like brutally like testing all this stuff before, like when I built my first one, and all I had to do was read this. Like, this is why you should read through this stuff, guys. 3D display at the center of the room. That is actually super cool. I'm really stoked to show you guys that. It looks just absolutely amazing. You can tell that they spent a lot of time on the scan room. And it actually helps you look for specific things, and it's upgradable, similar to some of the vehicles. Most of the rest of that is pretty basic. We'll just click on it so that they will stop lighting up, and we can keep track of the new stuff for the future. Interior grow bed. Yep, just a bunch of stuff. We've got the bioreactor, I think. We can stuff plants and fish in there to get energy, which is really cool. Nuclear reactor, we've only got one, but we really, really... Like, we've only got one fragment, but we really want this. Because apparently you can, like, make reactor rods. Oh, so this is why you want to keep your radiation suit, is so that you can actually fiddle around with this and do not overclock the reactor. Fair. Really good energy, though. That's something we're going to need to look at. Thermal plant is something we will use at our next base. We did finish that, so you guys will be able to see that. We need to gather some more resources from the jelly thing first. Cyclops, of course. That is the big submarine that we will be able to build. I will collect the resources for that very shortly, and we will start using that here soon. It's really, really cool. It does take quite a bit to get set up initially. Prawn suit, similarly, there are some kind of out of the way, or there are some resources that we need to build this that we haven't encountered yet, so we will come back to that once we explore some of those biomes a little bit. Sea Glide we've been using a ton, and obviously you guys, you know, you love the James Cameron. And yeah, that is, now we are completely caught up to date on all of those audio logs, or data bank logs. To any of you that were really excited about seeing those, I hope that we got you caught up and ready for the future stuff that we're going to be seeing. Like I said, I'm going to try to just keep up with them in the future so that we don't just have tons and tons of stuff to knock out all at the same time. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you all next time. And the voice logs, obviously, we've been hearing those go off as we've been playing. So if you guys are curious about kind of coming back through at the end and going through all those, we certainly can. But we won't worry about making an episode of that right now. Thanks for joining me, and next time we will start checking out some of these new life pods that we got. And let's go ahead and see if we got a new one. Captain is gone. I've assumed command. Shows dry land. A kilometer of this. Stay together and regroup at the rendezvous point. Good luck. The message will now repeat. South. So I think we're going to have to get in the sea moth to actually see which direction is south. But I wonder if that's the floating island, or I wonder if that's the strange mountain that rises up that we stumbled across one time. We're going to go back to that at some point. I just wanted to really get through some of this other cool stuff and explore some of these live pods, which I didn't do a whole lot of before. And we will do that next time. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you then.